Welcome back to The Lead, everyone. Time now for the buried lead. These are the stories we think have not been getting enough attention, and this is a big one. While the U.S. government is celebrating the deal on Iran's nuclear program, one family in Idaho could not help being disappointed. Saeed Abedini's loved ones hoped that the recent negotiations would address his captivity in Iran. The U.S. citizen is a pastor and was jailed last year on charges that his family says were related to his Christian faith. He's facing 8 years now away from his family. There are also 2 other Americans being detained in Iran, but the negotiation made no mention of anyone's release. This Thanksgiving will mark more than 18 months since Pastor Saeed Abedini has seen his family. Back on June 22, 2012, his wife and children dropped him off at the airport in Boise, Idaho, where they live. The Christian pastor was headed back to Iran to help start an orphanage. But instead, his family says he was arrested and imprisoned. Abedini was born in Iran and converted from Islam to Christianity, then later moved to the United States and became a citizen. In January, Abedini was sentenced to 8 years in prison, convicted of threatening Iran's national security for his involvement in Christian house gatherings. So says his wife.
Are you concerned that he will not survive his prison sentence?
Yes, very much. Every day is a battle, a survival battle, and that's why we've been fighting to get him out as soon as possible.
We ask that you would use this for your glory, Lord.
While his family has kept vigil, it's lawyers at the American Center for Law and Justice and U.S. lawmakers who have fought for his freedom.
It's unacceptable for an American to be thrown in prison just for preaching his Christian faith.
Statements calling for his release have come from Secretary of State John Kerry, and the White House says President Obama even took up the case in a phone call with the Iranian President Hassan Rouhani earlier this fall. But instead of progress, Abedini's plight seems to be getting worse. Earlier this month, the family learned Abedini has been transferred to a notorious prison where they fear for his safety. And this weekend's short-term deal with Iran came and went with no provisions for Pastor Abedini's release.
We've raised 2 issues with the Iranians in our discussions with them. One is the nuclear program. The other is Americans who are detained in Iran. President Obama raised it with President Rouhani when they spoke. We've raised it at a working level on the margins of the P5+1 talks. That includes this pastor.
Ben Rhodes, the Deputy National Security Advisor at the White House, told CNN today negotiations for Abedini and other detained Americans in Iran were ongoing.
The Iranians make assertions based on their own legal system. We reject those assertions that these individuals have a legal basis for being detained. It shows one thing, which is that we're trying to resolve the nuclear issue, which is of great concern to us. But even as we are doing that, it doesn't lessen our concern about other activities of the Iranian government.